Hey guys, it's Leon. Welcome back to my AX8 tutorials. Today I got a pretty cool story to go with this one. We're just going to have a look at a preset that I've made, which you can see here is called JMP Westlake Mod. My friend Troy Nababan, who's a great audio engineer and producer, all-round musician, all-round lovely guy, owns this amazing Marshall that he had modded. Well, he didn't have it modded, but he acquired it and had previously been modded by an amp tech here in Perth, Western Australia, called Willie Westlake. Had a bit of a reputation for turning old non-master volume Marshalls into high-gain beasts. And this particular Marshall, which I've been lucky enough to borrow and use for a lot of recording, sounds amazing. And today Troy and I spent a little bit of time trying to dial in the AX8 to sound pretty similar to this particular modded JMP, which I think has just been modded to 2203 specs, but it sounds really, really good. And this preset was about as close as we could get using our ears. We don't obviously have the tone match feature that the AX8 2 has, but I'll run you through the preset, which you can go and download, and have a look at some of the tricks we use in order to dial in the AX8 to sound like this particular amp. As you can see, I've got the Friedman BE model here, which of course is a modded Marshall itself. And we've done a couple of things. We attached a scene controller to the input drive, basically so I can have 3 scenes with varying amounts of gain. Much like if I was tracking, a record, you'd have a particular sound for a crunch sound, a heavier sound, and then a lead sound. And that's what we've got set up here. As you can see, it's just pretty much setting the EQ on this where we had it on the amp. A little less bass than the real amp because this Friedman model is very, very bottom heavy. Activated the fat switch and the bright switch, and I've brought the depth control down. Everything else is pretty much to taste. And let's have a listen to the 3 scenes so far. Here's the crunch sound. So pretty close to what I consider an ultimate rock and roll kind of amplifier sound. Very quickly, having a look at some more of the tricks we use to get this. The actual amp, when you crank it up, sounds like it's absolutely crapping its pants. So to do that, we add a little bit of speaker drive here to make the speakers sound like they're distorting. If I go back to scene 1, which I'm on, and we take the speaker drive down to 0, it tightens the amp up a little bit. It's a little bit cleaner. Which isn't a bad thing, but of course we wanted this to sound like, a real funky old modern Marshall. So turning up to about 1.8 seemed to give it just that little bit of extra funkiness and a little bit of extra hair. The other thing you can have a look at is the supply sag, which we turned up to 3. You can turn this, down to 1, 1.5, depending on what you like, or all the way up to 10, which sounds pretty cool. As you can see, kind of a no-brainer with this. It was really, really easy to dial in. One of the advantages of this unit, by the way, the other thing I changed was the preamp type to the 12X78 JJ. I can't remember what that defaults to. That may be the default. I don't know. Correct me on it. And the final thing was I'm using this own hammer Marshall 4x12 TV impulse. You can just use one of the factory cabs. There's plenty of really good. I think Own Hammer actually do a TV speaker mix in there that you can use. I just happen to particularly like this one. We dialed in the real amp using a 2 notes torpedo and this impulse. So it's pretty, just for consistency, I think it sounds pretty good. And I've set up the rest of the scene. If you guys want to use it, I guess for the kind of classic modern Marshall thing, there's a phaser, an extra drive pedal, a delay, and a reverb, and they're all available on the foot switch menu. So yeah, there you go. Cool little story with that one. Trying to clone a real modded amp in the AX8. I'm going to play some more guitar and then bid you guys farewell. Please tune in, grab the preset, tell me what you think, leave a comment, subscribe, and have a good time.